Hello friends, welcome to the Rayo Moon Oracle, or welcome back. I'm Rayo, and today I'm excited to be back, and we're coming back with a new Oracle deck review walkthrough today. So we are looking at the new Alchemy deck from the Wild Unknown series by Kim Krans. Yay! Super excited to finally have this. It came out a little bit ago now at this point, so I've had a chance to play with it, get familiar with it, and I'm excited to show it to you all today. So Kim Krans, it's written and illustrated by them. We have quite a few decks that have come out from Kim Krans. We have their Wild Unknown Tarot, the Animal Spirit deck, the Archetypes deck, and now the Alchemy deck. And this is kind of the finished, like the last one in the series, is what Kim had said. So excited to share it with everyone today, and let's take a look at it. So we open up the box here, we got our nice little quote in the beginning. So, from lead to gold, the secret's sealed, patience more will be revealed. So the concept of alchemy, right? That concept of turning lead into gold, that's the the idea of transformation, really, turning something, adding more, taking an element, taking something, putting energy, putting other things into it, and watching it transform into something new. And that idea of transformation, as I've been working with this deck, is really prevalent and comes through a lot. And when asking questions of this deck with that in mind, I think it gives lots of really good answers, very clear indications of how things will progress or how energy can or will transform. So when we open our box here, we see that quote on the side. So we've got our booklet here, and then we've got the deck underneath. So similar to the Archetypes deck, so these ones are in a hexagon shape, but pretty big still, similar to our Archetypes, which are circle ones, but pretty big cards to handle. So just keep that in mind. They're kind of beefy cards. They can be a little bit difficult to handle, difficult to shuffle, as I'll show as we get a little bit further into the walkthrough here. Our guidebook here, we have our typical Kim Krans structure. We have our descriptions in the beginning. All the cards are broken down and different ways to read the cards. So if you look at the booklet here, we got our picture of the card on the side, we've got the description, you got our title of the card, and then like our little keywords here, full descriptions, and then ways to interact with the card a little bit more, ways to go deeper, ways to connect to that energy. And then on the sides, in typical Kim Krans fashion, we've got a little bit more knowledge potentially, or the way the energy presents itself in the outside world a little bit more. So ways to interact with them, maybe ways that the energy can be presented. So very typical. I really like that structure in Kim Krans' descriptions, because it gives a lot more energy and things to work with the card specifically itself. So we open up the cards here, our cool little box, get a little bit closer look at that. Obviously, we got this beautiful hexagon shape. There are 71 cards in this deck. Pull out the cards, and this is what our back looks like here. So we got kind of this blue, spacey, flowery kind of pattern almost. It looks a little bit like smoke too. So very simple by comparison to some of the other decks. Let's take the Archetypes here, for example. So we got kind of this like pop of color, right? If we look at the top of the box on the Archetypes deck, this like gem here, so that kind of mirrors that energy there. So then same thing with the deck, right? That's why I kind of said that rose, because we got this rose on the top of the box, so that's kind of what that reminds me of. So pretty typical for Kim Krans art style, lots of color in this deck, simplistic imagery, but strong imagery at the same time. So just kind of show you a couple cards here so we can get a good look. So this one is Nebula. That one's pretty. Sulfur. Yeah, sulfur. This one is silver. Sugar. So lots of color. Again, lots of simplistic but powerful energy in this deck as I've been working with it, and typical of Kim Krans art style. With this deck specifically, we have kind of some subcategories that the deck is broken down into. So we have the 11 cosmic forces, we have the 4 colors, the 4 seasons, the 22 materials, the 22 mysteries, and the 8 operations. So different themes, different elements in a more broad sense for different things that can transform in your life, right? If you think about like the seasons, that transformation from one season to the other, how things grow and change and die off, decay in each of those seasons. If you think about some of the colors, the vibrancy, and the full range of how the colors change within its color category, but also from one to the other. If you look at like the full light spectrum, for example, right? And as you move up in the frequency of light and how those colors change, that's another example, right? Operation wise, let's see. Let me see if I can find one of the operations card. Well, just top one right here. Chaos. Lots of transformation in chaos, right? You get a lot of things that are destroyed, lots of new growth and rebuilding that comes out of chaos. So the cards themselves, right? If you think about the archetypes deck or the animal spirits, there is of Kim Krans' decks, there is a more kind of like strict theme in those cards versus this one is a little bit more free flowing, a little bit more loose, and really connects with that archetype's mindset, that archetype of growth. So far, I really enjoy using this deck. I think it's a deck that will keep on giving as time goes on, a deck that you can get more and more information from, because you can literally get down to like the angle of the card even. The way Kim Krans has structured this deck specifically too, it's like the angle of the card can even give you more insight into that specific theme, right? So if we have spring here and spring's reversed or spring's just a little bit different on their diagonal, and the way the cards can build and work with each other, right? We get this hexagon shape, so we definitely have this honeycomb that can build, and depending on how the cards come out, you can read a spread in lots of different ways with lots of detail, and I think that's very interesting with this deck specifically. So shuffling wise, takes a little bit to get them to loosen up. Cards are a little bit sticky to start, so that's just pretty typical. That'll change as the cards get worked with more, of course. The cardstock's really solid, so it's decently thick here. Not going to bend too easy. It doesn't feel flimsy like paper. It's solid cardstock. And let's see what else with these cards. Again, a little bit hard to shuffle. I'll be honest on that part where it's like they do stick to each other. Once that goes away, that's not too bad, but they are a handful, right? So I can get my whole hand around them, but they are not like an easy deck to shuffle. So it takes a little bit of effort. It takes a little bit of practice to work with these cards. And as they're like moving in my hand, they're twisting too, so that feels a little funky, like versus like the archetypes deck, they're all round, right? So it feels consistent, but as I'm shuffling these, they're twisting and moving in my hands and changing their angle. So something to keep in mind with that deck. It might not be for everybody in that regard, but let's draw a card and see what happens. Okay, Alchemy deck. What do you want to tell those watching this video today? What energy do we want to impart on our viewers today? I have used this deck in live streams before recently, just to kind of get a feel for it. There we go. Oh, actually gave me one, which is really nice. They're not sticking today. So we have the Blue Temple is what we want to talk about today for Alchemy. So this is card 54, I believe. I think the L stands for 50. So let us look at that description. I almost went right to it, which is nice. Okay. Azul Vaults, or the Blue Temple. Celestial realm, the imagination, expansiveness. Welcome to the Blue Temple, the home of the alchemy imagination. You have entered a space of new depths, new possibilities. The inner eye opens and you will become willing to see in a new way. To understand this card, one must study blue itself. It is the celestial color of the sky, the ocean, and the peacock's tail. Though potent, blue slips away. Through this color, our imagination threads together experiences both grim and glorious. Think blue films and blue ribbons, the halls of heaven and the harrows of melancholy. We are taken into the depths of mood, of tone, of the rhythm of the blues. The eternal mystery of blue will only deepen as we study it, and this is precisely the point. Leave the cerebral behind, cloak yourself in the sapphire robe, and sit quietly in the vault of mysteries. To go deeper, it says look at surrealist and Dantist works and let your imagination roam. To ponder, think of the earth as the azure vault. On our sides, it says once in a blue moon is a significant phrase if the blue temple card and the moon card appear together. Take note, the unlikely is most likely. And then on the other side, the people dismiss the azure vault as nonsense. Don't worry about them. Stay tuned into your own attendance to the sacred place and notice how you feel there. So, Blue Temple for this reading, specifically for this video, looking deeper into maybe these cards specifically, if we're talking about blue, right? Look at the back of these cards. Definitely blue, lots of blue in this deck specifically, or even our box here, right? Tons of blue coloring. And for any of you watching this video, right, you're diving into a realm of the unseen, of deeper knowledge, of spiritual knowledge. So encouraging us to keep pursuing that and the transformation, spiritual process, spiritual growth that happens with that, right? You get that knowledge behind you and things look a little different, right? It's adding a new lens to your perspective, or maybe taking off a lens that you had. So you're seeing more clearly. And that's what alchemy guides you to do, that transformation process. So this deck specifically, and that's what the spiritual calls you to do, to look at things and transform and grow and improve and keep on stretching yourself and learning new things. So let's see, anything else here? I'm excited to work with alchemy more. I think it's going to be a beneficial process, a growth process. So it's something I can learn from and see how things are transforming in my life. I've added it to my own personal yearly rating. I actually it's a full Kim Krans reading almost, where I have the archetype, one card on the top for archetype, the other card is an alchemy card. So what is the overall theme for my year, what is transforming for my year, and then I break it down with the tarot and the animal spirit deck for each quarter. So what happened, the energy, pull a tarot card for the energy of that quarter, clarify with an animal spirit card, and do that for each quarter. So it feels like it finished out that reading, so that's exciting. And I think this is a good deck again for just really figuring out how things are progressing or how things are changing in your life. So I'd recommend it for that reason. Recommend it just so you can finish out your Kim Krans collection like I have. Kim Krans is definitely a staple in my tarot and oracle collection. I think they're very necessary and it's a very special creation. So I have all 4 decks, and I have the mini oracle deck, tarot deck, in order to take it with me, that travel size one. And I'm very, very happy to have the alchemy deck now to finish out my collection, and I'm excited to see potentially more from Kim Krans in the future. So that is all I have for us today, friends. Hopefully this video is informative to you. If you'd like to see a full walkthrough of every card, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be happy to do that maybe as well. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.